Yeah.
But before we do that, I wanted to mention just a quick tidbit of a way that I am, we've talked about AI on the show quite a bit, and ChatGPT and some Gemini and Copilot, all that stuff is great. And, my concept is, or my framework is, we should be learning as much as we can about it as business owners so that we understand it, so we're not left behind, so we're not afraid of it, like it's going to replace people, whatever. But we need to be on this, on the wave here. And I think we're just at the beginning of the wave. Charlie Munger always said, get on the wave as something starts. I rode the Apple wave.
Same.
For almost 20 years, ups and downs, and it had pros and cons. So I probably made more money when Apple was having trouble than I did when they were booming. But that's because I took advantage of inefficiencies that they were not able to control. But so I'm using ChatGPT a lot. I have the paid version, which allows us to do a few more things and more computing power, I guess.
Same.
We use it for our episode artwork, which is great. I love it. You can fine tune everything. It's a little quirky. You got to learn about it. It doesn't spell worth a darn. But,
No. I have been shocked the times that I've gotten correctly spelled things in an image. Like most of the time, I have my prompt to create an image. I know that when I need to create it for the podcast, I tell it I want a wide aspect ratio image, not a square image, because it works out better. So I've tuned all these things, and I always tell it, don't put any words in the image.
And you go and put the words in later if you need it.
If I want, exactly.
I've been able to this is not what I want to talk about, but it's interesting. Some of them I've done, I'll open it up in Pixelmator, and I can get in there and adjust the text and remove the wrong letter or whatever.
Yes.
So it's
I've done that too. Yeah. And Pixelmator is great if you're on a Mac. And by the way, the AI, on the AI topic, all of the ad reads I do for this podcast and all my other podcasts, I now have ChatGPT write my ad scripts. I take the things that the sponsors want us to say. Over the last 19 years, what I had previously done was I would just come up with my own version of their talking points. But I noticed that I'm a human. I would get into habits with it. And you probably noticed this too, folks. If we have the same sponsor on, 3 or 4 times over the course of a couple of months, you'd hear me say approximately the same thing. And so I started feeding them into ChatGPT. And now, and I tell it, make it funny and include the catchphrase from the show. So figure out how to say charmed life as part of the sponsorship. And so even if you've already heard the squared away ads that we've done in previous weeks, listen to today's again, because it's going to be different. And I always try and get ChatGPT to make things that will create a script that will make it tough for me to read without laughing. So
that's cool. That's great. Yeah. And so one of the ways I'm using it, I'm working on a new book called Escaping Employment, just kind of the story of not working for anybody my whole life and all the things we've talked about a lot. But what I thought was it'd be nice to have follow-up worksheets and maybe some worksheets and different things, course material after each chapter that either somebody could do themselves or maybe somebody could give to an employee if you wanted to learn about a specific topic that I discussed in that chapter. So that's what I've been doing. I upload the chapter that I've got done to ChatGPT, and I'll say, hey, I want you to analyze this content and create a set of worksheets that can go over each of those things and create 2 sets, one for an individual and another one that an employer could give to an employee if you wanted to learn about something. I mean, if I'm talking about hiring or cash flow or technology,
that's so
anything.
smart.
And the results are amazing. You do have to edit them to be sure it's kind of doing what you want, but that's great. I know how to edit, and
editing is way easier than creating out of whole cloth.
Yeah, and it's my content it's creating it from. I'm not asking it to create something to shortcut to write because a book, and it's been great, and it has really filled out. I'm about 10 chapters in, and each of these chapters now is got a whole set of curriculum that somebody gets with the book. So the book will be, maybe twice as useful, or maybe exponentially more useful, but certainly twice as much content maybe 3 times as much content. So instead of maybe a 250-page book, somebody's going to get like a 500-page book that they can dip in and out of and learn different things. So it's just a way that I'm using it that I thought might be kind of interesting to share here on the show.